Hi, and welcome to Katie's Corner in Space and a special premiere episode standout scenes for the Winchesters. I've been anxiously awaiting this episode and a continuation of one of my favorite universes. While there were plenty of things we already knew were coming, there were still some fantastic moments not included in the trailer, which made this not only an entertaining premiere, but one that cleared up quite a few of the canon questions I had. Not all, but most. As expected, the episode was a setup and introduction of the new players, including a newbie hunter, a seasoned flake, and a missing bookstore owner. And found out both Mary and John have a familiar problem right off the bat.
And he hasn't been home in a few days.
Which puts the plot in motion for the episode, and I assume their relationship. Together, the two discover their own clues about their dads, and with the help of those friends, solve part of the mystery of her father's disappearance while saving a potential ally in Ada, who has some information for John as well. And by the end of the episode, we have a big bad to fight, rather for the season or the first half of the season, it's too early to tell. But this episode gives us the basic setup for the series, which included some of our supernatural favorites, including demon possession and exorcism, magic, demon traps, and that feeling of family who count on each other even when they don't much like each other.
When are you gonna let Tupelo go, Mayor?
When it comes to the real standout scenes of the episode, a few come to mind. That entrance by Carlos, for one. Even though we knew it was coming thanks to the trailer, it was still fun to watch that demon go flying. I was glad to see the bump meet we had always heard about, which means a little extra credit goes to the trailer creators because it did create discussions about canon and in turn hyped up the show before the premiere. But John actually bumping into Mary was a welcome moment. The Men of Letters bunker was again expected, but I really enjoyed the talk between John and Mary here. It moved the story along by giving us some more information on both Samuel and Henry, specifically Samuel's most recent hunt and Henry's secret life, which really gives John no answers, but at least some insight. Ada's possession in the bookstore. Woo, was that attention grabbing. The frantic reach for her charm, the smoke rolling in after her, and the ultimate possession. I mean, I know we've seen this before, but that was all really well put together. And Ada made a fierce demon. Thankfully, only for a short while. But when it comes to the truly best scene in the episode, I'm going to have to go with the entire action sequence of both Ada being saved and John fighting a Rougarou. The box ripping the demon from Ada was fantastic, and John just slashing the head off the Rougarou. The cuts from one scene to the other and the truly suspenseful danger happening in both battles was exciting. And having John lop off the head did give me a bit more faith in his ability to actually survive to sire two sons, because let's admit he just didn't get the best start in that arena. Now, if you've been here before, you know occasionally I find a scene provocative and worthy of at least an honorable mention, and this episode is no exception. While it wasn't a pivotal moment or thrilling, the heart-to-heart between John and his mother as she declares she's the one who didn't leave was considerable and helps us to see not only their relationship, but lets us get to know her and her views as a single mom. I think it's a point of view many single parents can relate to, and in a show about the unreal, it was a real kind of moment. It also reminds me of the origin story of so many heroes, parent or parents missing, dead, or in some way absent. Watching this from the beginning, while I still have some canon issues, does give us an insider's view of all the things that supposedly influenced those who would forever be the influence of Sam and Dean. When it comes to the premiere, I can't quite give it my highest rating. Not that I have any real rating system, but I think I was overly excited and my expectations were a bit higher than probably fair. That said, it was still a strong showing with enough mystery and questions I would come back even if it weren't a supernatural spinoff. I wonder what John will find, because it's obvious now the elder Winchesters didn't fess up about everything to their sons. And since John is actively fighting the supernatural and slicing their heads off, I think of just how much Mary keeps from Samuel when he does come back, because later when Dean pops in for a visit on Supernatural during a flashback, Samuel seems dubious about how John would handle the supernatural world.
Hold on. John's a really nice, naive civilian.
John Winchester mixing it up with spirits. Can you imagine?
For me, the mark of a good show, other than writing and characters, is the ability to make me curious enough to come back. And this show certainly did that, so if I had a rating system, I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5. But again, I fully accept my expectations really might not have been able to be met. Some part of me still expects Sam and Dean to pop in and save the day. But as even Dean is just an onlooker to the unfolding story, I don't think I can include him in this review. He's the narrator, not the protagonist, and so if you wonder, well, why aren't Dean's scenes included? It's because it's not his story. I guess I'll just have to see what happens next and see if over time those expectations seemed realistic. It's supernatural, so really you never know what could happen or who might enter the story. Till then, check out some of John and Mary's history or my minimalized version of how this show came to fruition by checking out the playlist, and I'll see you there.